get the Harith away from the hands of Nausea. But Nausea, I think at this point, is building a name for himself as a Moskov in the gold lane. They bring back an old favorite in the chip. So now you're going to think twice about picking a Joy in this scenario.
That's a Daddy JP special right there. He's re-debuting.
Yeah, re-debuting it. This is looking like shades of the utility meta we were just talking about with our community poll here. Now, last pick, they still need a XP. No, they still need a jungle.
That's right.
Joy, man.
Don't knock the fact that maybe the Uranus is the jungle.
Right.
Beat of the
All right, well,
Never mind.
I was there with you, Leo. You know.
Yep. I wouldn't say it's the first time because we've seen James Banks of AP Brent try, but here we are. This is a much sounder pick in the jungle. The Joy in the hands of MP the King.
Yeah. So Team Liquid Philippines, I think they're looking at this from a...
Team Liquid Philippines, or will it be Twisted Minds to surprise everybody a little bit further here? It's our last match for week 2. We're jumping in to find out. Now, leading into the early rotations, one of the discussions that we had too earlier on about Twisted Minds was Sean's performance. The discussion of putting him up there with the S-tier mages. And I think he's done a relatively good job, but even this is a test now for him to go against, toe-to-toe with Sanji here.
Oh, Daddy JP tried to bother MP, but he wasn't having any of it, crossing the jungle a little too soon, and they're still going for the counter invade. Here comes Tlph to answer back. This is a big fight waiting to happen. Sanji forced the flicker out. That was almost a 4-man collision.
Yeah, it looked like Sanji was having difficulty getting that last proc up onto Sean and MP the King. That's why he ended up there. He tried to lift them up into the air and reposition them, but it just took too long. Hence why he had to burn that flicker out. And so that's one of the level 2 power spikes we're talking about with Twis and Minds at the center of the map. Once they hit those level 2s and MP the King gets his first buff, they usually go for a jungle invade.
Yeah, then so the power spike difference here between okay, he burned the flicker. So
he's got a soccer punch on the way out.
I was gonna say he's just like throws the spear, and but yeah, the power spikes for both these lineups are a little bit on a different timing, I'd say, aren't they, Renmar?
Yeah. The thing with the Team Liquid Philippines power spike now, though, is that if they can get an early kill, that's why they're so aggressive right now. Their power spike is going to feel so fast if they win Turtle 1 alongside getting an early kill. While for Twisted Minds, you know it's going to be there. They're playing around a Joy, a Kimmy, and a Moskov. It will arrive. It's not a question of when, but how.
Oh, Lansu almost gets punished, but not enough of CC. Now in comes MP the King. The damage is good. Lansu putting on stacks. That's the Appraiser's Wrath. Taking MP the King down a quarter of his health. Not sure if he's healthy enough to go for this turtle as TLPH circle around the pit.
Yeah, they got the ultimate out too, so MP is going to fight for this.
Traction pulse starting it up. Sean dropping the artillery. Called execute with a retribution. Sanford backing off. Lansu takes him down. First blood over to Twisted Minds. Down goes Sean. JP punches him into the ground, but they're not done. They're trying to take down the goat, but he won't fall. Not without a trade. Down goes one. Another might fall. Sanji punishes Kaloy as he gets taken down. Lansu, the only one left from Twisted Minds in the scene. Happy with what they got. Liquid scores.
Yeah, they were pretty sure they would have been significantly happier if Tlph didn't fall there, but the fact that they got significantly more kills over Twisted Minds, well, they're going to be definitely happy with that. First turtle, MP the King spots JP.
MP wants to take down JP. Sanji disincentivizes him. Nausea throws out the SOD. Not going to be pressing that button just yet.
Yeah, this is interesting too, because in that last fight that Twisted Minds decided to go for, even when Sean decided to swing on around, JP and JP and Sanford did a great job at just kind of blocking things, and that's what they're going to have to be able to do, and that's why the Lapu Lapu once again works so well. Lansu can do the same thing for his team, but they're going for those setup potentials, and this is also the same thing, whereas like if MP the King isn't able to go ahead and pump out enough damage on this Joy, which should work synergistically with a Kimmy, we've seen this actually before, then they can play into Nausea. Now Nausea, as long as he doesn't get focused on, which I expect TLPH to do, now as JP is setting up, they'll continue to put pressure up here because they know how that Moskov timing is going to work for this game here.
Team Liquid Philippines, you really need to acknowledge the Uranus-shaped elephant in the room, which is, well, Lansu. As much as you want to apply pressure onto Nausea, again, that power spike will arrive. But if you do not answer this Uranus early on, if he goes into minute 10, 3-0, 4-0, that Uranus can hold on and you'll be surprised. Wait, how come they're surviving so long despite us barely receiving any damage? Because you didn't get to answer the Uranus in the early to mid game.
Oh, here they go.
Lansu looking to sandwich Tlph. He gets caught by 3. The choke here by Sanji. Sean raining down the damage. Sanford pressing the bravest fighter. Kaloy answers back with the greatest glorious pathway, and now the SOD thrown out. Not sure if Nosha wants to press this. And look at that massive CC. Lansu takes down JP. He's not done. Wants to take down Sanji too, but Carl Deasy falls. All of Twisted Minds are here, and they're going for the turtle. They do leave Oheb free to farm.
Just like Redmar said, if Lansu is not controlled, they're going to have to deal with that. Now he's sitting at 4-0.
Yeah, it also makes sense though. Twisted Minds had the 5 versus 4 advantage. Oheb could not have joined that. If he did, I would have been just as mad as when Super Marco used his SOD earlier. If he came with an invade with the rest of Twisted Minds, Sanford got the orange buff though.
All right. Misplaced, but not stolen.
Yeah. Okay, so the map still opens up for Team Liquid, and that means Oheb is free to farm, as Twisted Minds puts a lot of focus into the second turtle of the game. Expect them to be very aggressive to take control of the third and then translate that into a push into the middle turret, or just an even bigger lead so that they don't even lose footing for the First Lord. That has been a Coach Bonchan and Coach Eson staple for all these years in MPLPH.
Oh, they want to fight again here, it looks like.
Whoa. How often does it happen that it's MP the King, the Joy, who starts it up, gets choked up by Sanji, takes him down, the summon force used to keep Kaloy down. Here comes Lansu, and that might be the best entry. Definitely a Liquid win.
Yeah, I don't think that's, I guess the timing, you know, MP the King jumping on
done with him. Goes in for the Crimson Beacon, not enough stacks to choke Lansu out. Twisted Minds put in defensive position.
Yeah, I just want to say this is what we were talking about earlier. Because of the lineup that Team Liquid Philippines fielded, the MP the King standard so far this season of, okay, let me just go and do whatever I want because I have backup with me. It's so much riskier now as a Joy. You slip up, that was like what? Maybe 2 squares worth of distance in like MLBB math, and he got punished that easily?
Units.
MLBB geometry.
Yes.
You know, and they're going to hold it down in the mid lane. This next turtle's coming up in about 30, but yeah, so far it's more so of that timing that Twisted Minds has to be careful of when they approach the fights, because TLPH, what we've seen them do in the past is even if they have a little bit of struggles or a little bit of a bumpy road in the early game, they're one of the teams that just adjusts so quickly within the game itself. And even so, they put pressure on the macro level here, so MP will go ahead and clear this out. He'll rotate in. I'm not sure. He'll grab the purple buff, but then this is where that fight for that turtle is going to come up here, and it depends how they want to play it out.
The MPL Cambodia alumni and champion sensed something was fishy. He knew that Daddy JP was hanging around the corner. Walk sends over the MPL PH veteran down bottom. JP with a conceal, looking for an angle. Kaloy dropping the glorious pathway. Turtle here at about 10 health gets taken down by Carl's retribution. 2-1 to score for that. And now Sean displaced by Sanford. Lansu gets choked out, taken down. Daddy JP punches him into the ground.
So this is what we were talking about. 5-man macro, micro play by Team Liquid Philippines, and the veterancy is what's coming through. Despite how technically and mechanically sound you are, Twisted Minds, those little tricks up the sleeve of Team Liquid Philippines, especially the timing of Sanford to push Sean all the way back, messed up the timing of Twisted Minds' team fight.
That's exactly what I had my eyes on too. Sanford did a great job of doing that, but then even if they went for that fight, TLPH, it's so sound, the way that they're approaching the objectives, the way that their positioning is, and it's kind of hard for Twisted Minds in a way to adjust to that.
And Twisted Minds have to stretch and put themselves in weird positions to even answer for the possibility of JP's entrance. Now Lansu here, once again, threatened to get choked by Sanji. What Lansu is doing is criminal, trying to isolate 2 to 3 dudes alone. But what Liquid is potentially throwing over is much scarier. And Sanji's telegraphing that, building that second item, Sky Piercer.
Kaloy, he's tanky enough to deal with this. They're just trying to keep this tier 2 up. They force a fight here. They clear out the minion, but the rest of the team is here.
Here comes the rest of the cavalry as Kaloy is forced to use the glorious pathway defensively. Oheb pushing in. That tier 2 down bottom. Sean gets taken down by Sanji. A stack over to the Chef's Piercer.
Look at how Team Liquid Philippines are taking every team fight. Again, this is just the veterancy. I like how Oheb and JP thought twice about joining the rest of the fight. When the SOD hit from Nosha, they waited. And when they saw that, okay, it would be too risky for Nosha to take it, that's when they decided decided to go forward. Tlph on the Swiss Army Fredrin has been the actual true roamer in this lineup, and he's zoning out and holding the front incredibly well for Liquid.
Oh, they're not letting Lansu go. Zaman forced in by Oheb. That's a lot of damage. Razor's Wrath to take him down. Sanji served up another kill, another stack.
The answer to this Uranus seems to be a whole lot of crowd control and also Sanji bringing him back every time he tries to escape.
Yep. And you gotta add to that the itemization of JP and Tlph. They both rushed Radiant Armors because they knew MP the King and Sean would be their biggest problems at this point in the game. But then Tlph decided to rush the Blade Armor after that. So even at this point, Nausha can barely poke down Tlph.
MP the King almost gets brought underneath the Appraiser's Wrath, and they're not done. Kaloi might be forced to use their Vitalize, does pop it. Glorious Pathway as well. Lansu putting stacks on Sanford. And look at the front line. Zaman forced by Oheb. Kill one, finds another. Lansu, he already knows how painful this lineup is. Gets taunted back.
Oh, so
goes back from the back lines. And now here comes Nausha. MP dashing on through. That's a lot of damage from the Joy. Down goes JP. Sean gets taken out. And Nausha gets popped by 40. Lansu follows up. Liquid, I ain't playing.
What a fight!
The push and pull, the turnaround. Tlph was able to get the Appraiser's Wrath off in time, and then Sanford conserving his flicker so that he can close the gap between him and Nausha. I thought Twisted Minds would eventually win that, but Liquid were ready.
40 has no breaks. Bravest fighter onto MP the King to push him from out of defensive range. Kaloi gets taken down underneath the base.
That was in between it all. The base turrets. And Tlph isn't letting up. The Lord will be worked on. It's going to be cleared out. But now the mid wave. Sanford takes a couple shots and he'll swoop on out. But they want to go for this mid turn, and Twisted Minds, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to end the game here for Tlph, but it looks like they got what they wanted.
Tlph and JP continue to impress me this season with their performances. This is another highlight on the chip in the Fredrin. Tlph and JP, their interplay of, okay, I'm going to go forward, make sure that you're peeling for the back. So many times we've talked about the share of responsibilities between the EXP laner and Roam, but look how they juggled that. JP fell down here, but then Tlph eventually switched up so quick into, all right, let me be the guy protecting Oheb and Sanji, and let Sanford be the guy fronting now.
I'm really interested to know, the comms in some of these later fights, just because of how good it's juggled around. You can see how defensive they're built too, and why it's working.
Perfect itemization. You have all three frontliners going for Radiant Armor, Blade Armor as their priorities and defensive items. And that's exactly what you need to shut down the damage profile of the Joy and the Kimmy for the Radiant Armor and the Blade Armor for the Moskov.
It's working so well, the itemization here. Now they got 9,000 gold ahead of Twisted Minds. So now they're looking to cap out a couple more base turrets if they can, even before the next objective, but Twisted Minds will clear things out.
Oh, Sunshine is cutting it very close. Yeah. It's just the two of them. It's just the two of them here, and still they're that confident that they're not going to get caught.
Yeah. They still have to be careful, though. This is one of the Team Liquid Philippines sicknesses. You're going for the siege, suddenly you get wiped.
Oh, let's see. A couple hits on this. They'll drop the Zombie Force just to get the turret. Discipline route, they'll back off. I don't think Twisted Minds wants to force anything with this, but Sanji's just going to keep toying with them with a lantern here.
Oh, ouch. Does get a few beads on Lansu, cuts him in half. Lord's going to spawn in the lower quarter. I think this is what Liquid is setting up. They're giving Twisted something to think about.
Yeah, despite Lansu starting 4-0, and that really cut it close to Team Liquid Philippines, giving winning conditions to Twisted Minds, they were able to recover quickly and put a lot of pressure onto that Uranus. Let's see if Nausha's going to try to throw an SOD to steal. Nah, they're not even going to try it. They're just going to wait as Tlph and Team Liquid will be marching with the Lord.
That's effectively what Sanji was avoiding. You see how he put himself right around the purple buff?
Yep.
Because he's trying to catch stray bullets. Yeah. Impressive.
He basically can, too.
It's happened too often.
Yeah, it's happened many times. So they're going to go ahead and get ready to march in with this Lord. They still have that one base turret to get through for Twisted Minds, and this will be a difficult defense to pull off. This definitely is in tune of a game-winning push. There's the conceal, though. Tlph in the base.
Sided JP's got a flicker. Watch out for where he places that shortcut. Nausha backing off. The Glorious Pathway used defensively to stop the entry. MP the King takes down. Gets taken down one, and Lansu falls. Oh, heavy even without the Zaman Force. Nausha falls. Kaloi might follow up a shortcut just to make sure. Tlph stampede through. Slowly but surely taking game one.
And you can hear it there, TLPH, an express of their own, the Stampede takes game 1.